I don't know about any of you, but this year I have found it very hard to find an Advent calendar, mostly because their days are numbered. Sorry, I will stop now, sorry. There's a delayed chuckle from behind me. I'll work through it with them later. The jokes aside, what is it that brings us joy is the question I asked you earlier on. I hope you've been thinking about that, because I think what brings us joy depends very much on what your definition of joy actually is. Some of what we were talking about earlier on, you may define as happiness. Happiness, of course, being something that is fairly attainable for most people and has a sign, maybe an outward sign, through a smile or a chuckle or something like that. But surely joy is or should be something more than just a smile on your face. Joy, I've always felt, is a deep-seated emotion, something that is really within you, that cannot be contained and that comes out all the time. Now, if I think back through my life and moments of joy, I can narrow them down to a few occasions. One was when Keely agreed to marry me. I say that way as if I'd hounded you for ages. I only asked once, but when Keely said yes, that was decent. I did actually throw up straight afterwards. It's just a horrible car crash of a proposal, and I was sick. I was sick as soon as I asked her because I was so nervous. But anyway, there's another story. So when Keely said yes to marry me, another time was at the birth of our children. Just that new life there, a gift from God for us to treasure and share. Moments of great joy. And even now, within me, I feel that sense of joy, and I can't explain it fully. It's far greater than happiness. And I'm going to use a word that I don't often use here. I feel like it exudes from us. Joy exudes from our very being in an infectious way, a way that people latch onto, a way that makes people maybe smile, but also they see what drives us and what is within us. Now, when the angels appear to the shepherds in our reading this morning, they were promised news that would bring great joy, not just joy, but great joy for all people. When was the last time, apart from maybe the enrolment this morning of our junior soldiers, when was the last time that you can remember that you were in a room where there was a sense of great joy among everyone? I find it hard to pin that down. There'll be moments maybe where it was close to it, but there's always maybe somebody that's just not there with you or just not quite as joyful as everyone else. Now, we know from our reading around the scriptures that the shepherds didn't always come with the best of reputations. They were a bit of a group of outcasts in society. They weren't even considered reliable as people. Yet it was to those people that the angels appeared with this message of great joy. Now, when that joy comes to them, they don't sit there, they don't and ah about it, they don't procrastinate, they don't come up with excuses. They get up and they go. They go to Bethlehem, to the town of David, and they look for this sign, the child in a manger. This good news they've been told about, this good news that the Messiah, the anointed one, has come, the one who will be able to deliver them from all of the bad things in their world and save them from that. The one who is going to rescue them. So they go, and their search is successful. Now, the thing with joy is that there is often an outcome from it, a thing that happens through the joy. There may be a sound of praise from people through the joy that comes from them. There may be a reaction. In this instance, the joy leads to proclamation. So in verses 17 to 20, we read their search was successful, and it was evident from their responses. In verse 17 it says, and when they saw the baby, they made known the saying that had been told to them concerning this child. They made it known. The sequence of their faith is this. God prompted them to take action, which they did, and their action gave rise to their testimony. Because when they left that stable, they didn't just go, oh, that was a nice thing. We saw the baby Jesus. And then just wander back to their field and continue. It's not what happens, friends. It's not what they did. They acted in faith, they confirmed the sign, and then they testified to everyone about what the angel had said. All who heard it, verse 18 says, all who heard it wondered at what the shepherds told them. They wondered. They were curious. They wanted to know more. They had been told this amazing thing because of the joy, and they wanted to share it with people. There was a response to Mary's reflection in verse 19. Mary treasured up all these things, pondering them in her heart. She reflected on the events, attempting to understand what had just happened. And she treasured them because they were of a value that she couldn't guess. They confirmed all that the angels had told her. So this response to the shepherds' visit, this response by the shepherds to their visit, is one of great joy. In my head, I picture this ragtag group of people, this group of men, walking through the streets of Bethlehem, maybe late at night, knocking on doors, shouting out, telling people what they had just seen, what's just happened, this thing of great joy. We need to tell everyone. Now, we don't know the full reaction of the people they told. There would probably be the standard reactions to some of them, just shutting the door, ignoring them. But some would have been inspired or even challenged by what they had just heard. The shepherds returned, verse 20 says, glorifying and praising God for all they had heard and seen, as it had been told to them. They returned, telling everyone, telling all. I wonder how often we do that, friends. I'm not going to ask for a response. This is a rhetorical question. But if you think back through the last week, how many opportunities have we had, and I include myself in that, have we had to share something of God's love? To share a word with people, and we haven't taken it? How often have we taken the opportunity, but we've not really given it the big billing that it deserves? Because we need to be blunt about this, friends. Sometimes when we share it, we do undercook it a bit, don't we? Why do you go to church? I go to church because I love God. And we just leave it there. That's big in itself. But we could go far deeper than that. Have we got that joy in our hearts, I wonder? Have we experienced enough of God to have that gift of joy within us, to have that gift of joy that we are able to share with people in a way that gives them that same joy? If only sharing that joy was as easy as telling a Christmas cracker joke, as easy as pulling that simple paper device, putting it on a hat and reading a bit of paper to somebody. But it's not always that easy, is it? Who do we tell? When do we tell them? Why do we tell them? I pray, friends, that we're going to be able to take the opportunity to tell people in the days that lie ahead. Tell everybody that we can, and share with them something fresh of that love of God, but the joy that it hopefully gives you deep inside you, that's waiting to burst out. Now, in a moment, we're going to have a chance to respond and think about that joy, but we're going to do it in a way that is maybe a little different to normal. Because normally during a time of response, it'll be very reflective and we'll maybe sit quietly and pray. And if you still want to do that, you can. There's going to be a bit of music play in a moment. And I want you to talk to the people you are sat near. If you want to get up and walk around, and think about who it is you're going to tell about that joy this week. Is there somebody? And ask for the person you're talking to pray for you in that. Pray that you choose the right time, the right words, the right person, the right place to share that joy. But I want you to use this as a bit of a practice run, folks. I want you to use it to see how much the joy is about to burst out of you. Okay, so in a few moments, the music's going to play. Move around the hall if you need to. The music lasts for a couple of minutes. And talk to people about that joy, about who it is you're going to share it with, and when you're going to tell them, and what it is you want to tell them. And also, if you need prayer for that, what is it that you need prayer for? But be in no doubt, friends, that when that joy is within you, you can't contain it. The shepherds certainly couldn't, as they told everyone about what they had just seen. So we're going to listen to the music. Take the opportunity. Talk to people you sat near. If you want to move around, you can. Think about that joy, who you're going to tell, why you're going to tell them, and more importantly, if you need prayer enabling you to do that this week. So let's have the music, please. Thank you very much. Well, friends, thank you for sharing with each other in that way, and it's just great to have that buzz of conversation around the place. And we just ask God's blessing on all that has been spoken about this morning, and we thank Him for that.